had access to the house, and he knows better than to be talking about the things that he does with Big Brother Puff on national television. They had a recording of Meek and Diddy
making love.
Ew. I don't know if it was love.
They want to make it. They want to make it so badly. You get these vulnerable people. Parents are letting you do this because they want to make it so badly. And then you record them probably and say, if you do anything, we got this on you.
You know, go through anything I went through. I don't wish that upon anybody.
Oh, honey, buckle up because the tea is scorching. Justin Bieber, the same kid we watched grow up from YouTube sweetheart to global heartthrob, has finally had enough of staying silent. And what he's revealing now, it's sending shockwaves through the entire industry. For years, we saw Justin smile on red carpets, win awards, and live that perfect pop star life. But behind the scenes, it was something straight out of a night. And now, with lawsuits stacking up like Jenga blocks against Mr. Bad Boy himself, Sean Diddy, Combs, Justin is done hiding the truth. He's opening the floodgates, and the secrets pouring out are straight up disturbing. People used to whisper about it. The odd interviews, the cryptic posts, those weird party stories. But now, Justin's putting names to faces, including mega celebs like Usher and Meek. Yes, baby. They were allegedly on that secret list of Diddy's, let's just call it freak-off favorites. And if you think this is all just conspiracy, think again. He even posted a video of himself eating pizza while Cassie was on the stand testifying against Diddy. Coincidence? Fans don't think so. Some say it looked like surveillance footage. You know, the kind Diddy reportedly used at his private parties for blackmail purposes. And Justin's vibe in that video? Cold, like he was finally sending a silent but deadly message. He's talking about sleepovers where he was forced to watch, about being around things no child should ever witness. People used to clown Justin's wild behavior in his teens, the meltdowns, the arrests, the rebellious stunts. But what if it wasn't just fame messing him up? What if it was trauma? And baby, that's just the beginning. Let's rewind a bit. Back to Usher. Before he was the king of R&B, he was just a 13-year-old boy trying to break into the industry. Signed by L.A. Reid and handed over to Diddy for mentorship. What that mentorship involved? Chile. It was a lot more than vocal lessons. Usher actually moved in with Diddy. That's right, packed his little teenage bags and went straight into the lion's den.
Moved to New York City, and I lived with Sean Puffy Combs for a year.
Usher later described those early days as both exciting and deeply confusing. Sure, there were celebrities and fast-paced parties, but it didn't take long for things to go from glamorous to terrifying. According to his own interviews, Usher started seeing things, parties that felt wrong, people coming and going at wild hours. Diddy's behavior behind closed doors didn't match the polished mogul image he sold to the world. He eventually pulled away, but he never really talked about what went down. And now, with Justin's confessions lighting the internet on fire, fans are looking back at Usher's old comments and seeing them for what they really were, cries for help. Let's be real, Diddy became Usher's legal guardian when he was only 13. And he wasn't just teaching him about music. In a 2004 Rolling Stone interview, Usher hinted that Diddy had introduced him to a grown-up lifestyle way too early, a lifestyle no child should ever be around. When you see those old clips now, they don't seem edgy or cool, they seem disturbing.
To wake up and, damn, pause, but like just back in the days when he was like 10 and I was a little bit older, his older brother, we used to fight over the frosted flake.
Flash forward to Usher's 35th birthday bash in 2013. Even then, years later, he talked about how Diddy brought him into the scene way too fast. I was introduced to everything by Puff Daddy when I was only 15, he said. The glitz, the glam, the chaos, it was all thrown at him. But the bombshell didn't stop there. On the Howard Stern show in 2016, Usher opened up about the infamous Puffy Flavor Camp at the Diddy's Weird Elite Retreats. Usher admitted that very curious things were happening at those events, and when Stern asked if he'd ever send his own kids to something like that, Usher didn't even hesitate. Hell no.
I did say is that there were very curious things taking place, and I didn't necessarily understand.
And now those comments feel prophetic. In September 2024, Usher did something strange. He wiped his entire X, formerly Twitter account. No warning, no explanation, just gone. Fans asked questions and he claimed he was hacked. But the timing? Way too suspicious, especially with the FBI reportedly opening investigations into Diddy. People are starting to wonder if Usher's silence is fear-based. Is he scared? Is he scared of what Diddy still holds over him? Did he wipe his profile to erase any digital trail connecting him to something darker? Because let's not forget, Usher had a front row seat to Diddy's private world, and some fans think he's trying to protect himself before things explode. But Justin Bieber? He's no longer keeping quiet, and what he's spilling now could change everything. Justin is letting the world know that what we thought was teen rebellion wasn't. It was survival. And when Diddy brought him into the fold, Justin says it wasn't some glamorous mentorship. It was a trap. According to insiders, Bieber was exposed to the ugliest parts of the music industry during the time he was linked to Diddy, and he wasn't alone. Usher was there, other young stars too. The power dynamics were insane. Diddy held the keys to the kingdom, and the price to enter was your innocence. And that brings us to Meek Mill. Apparently there's a footnote in Rodney Little Rod Jones' bombshell lawsuit against Diddy. It alleges that Diddy bragged about having both Usher and Meek Mill. Yes, that brag allegedly came straight from Diddy's own mouth. When that hit the blogs, Meek lost it.
What? Yo, wait a minute.
Meek went on a full-on posting spree on X, Twitter's rebranded mess. He was like, "Ain't no man ever came at me on no gay S," and made it very clear he was ready to throw hands over the accusation. But here's where it got messy. Instead of shutting things down, Meek's fiery denials only made people more curious. Why so defensive? And let's not forget, Meek and Diddy have been seen together a lot, especially during those wild, no-camera-allowed parties, one of the biggest being the infamous 2014 Grammys after party, which Meek actually hosted. Cops had to break it up. The nightlives in Hollywood infamy. Still, Meek has repeatedly said there was nothing sexual between him and Diddy. It was all just music, collaborations, and some wild party scene. But fans, not convinced. Why? Because he didn't want to be the turn down to the turn up. Girl, that says everything. He said it was 7 a.m. and Diddy was still going hard. What kind of party goes till 7 in the morning unless something really off the wall is happening behind those velvet ropes? And then there's Uncle Luke, a veteran in the game and someone who's seen it all. He went on the Way in Miami podcast recently and low-key confirmed what many suspected. These Diddy parties, they weren't just glitzy events, they were something else entirely.
I party with me for your birthday, man. We partied for my birthday before. You came to my party. No, but me and you ain't never really party, you know what I'm saying?
Uncle Luke didn't spill the exact details, but his tone was all we needed to hear. When they asked why he always left before things got crazy, his answer was simple. I don't know what goes on after hours, but I wasn't trying to find out. Translation, whatever was happening wasn't right, and he knew to stay out of it. He told a story about how Diddy asked him to be in the music video for Pop That, which sampled Luke's iconic song, I Wanna Rock. The track had features from Drake, Rick Ross, Lil Wayne, the whole gang. But Uncle Luke said no, and get this. He didn't even want a paycheck for the sample. All money ain't good money, he said. Baby, that part. And now, looking back, it's clear. Uncle Luke knew what he was avoiding. He saw through the smoke and mirrors. He saw the trap before it sprung. He even hinted that Diddy's recent legal drama might not just be about personal dirt, but corporate revenge. Like maybe he pissed off the wrong boardroom people. And suddenly, lawsuits, leaks, and exposés started raining from the sky. Let's not forget, in June 2023, Diddy's billion-dollar partnership with Diageo, the mega company behind Ciroc and DeLeon, collapsed. Diddy sued them, claiming they were sabotaging his brands. But Diageo clapped back with receipts. Turns out Diddy had only invested $1,000 0 cents into the deal, while the brands were pulling in nearly $1 billion. It was giving, you messed with the wrong suits. And in the middle of all this chaos, Justin Bieber's name kept popping up. Justin's rise to fame was rapid. He was discovered at 13 by Scooter Braun, who teamed up with Usher to launch his career. They even started their own label for him, Raymond Braun Music Group. But lurking nearby, Diddy. In a 2009 video on Justin's own YouTube channel, Diddy straight up says that Bieber spent 48 hours with him. No guardian. Just him and Justin. Where we're hanging out and what we're doing can't really disclose, Diddy said with a smirk. Excuse me? He called it a 15-year-old's dream. And sure, Justin was probably hype. But now, that video feels sickening. At one point, Diddy asks Bieber what he wants to do, and Justin in his little voice goes, "Let's go get some girls." And Diddy, all creepy and smug, says, "A man after my own heart." It's horrifying. Then, in 2010, Diddy posted another video of him teaching Bieber the swag walk. But this time, he was complaining that Justin didn't call him anymore. "You ain't been hanging with me like you used to." Like he missed the control. And slowly, they started drifting apart. Around 2014, Keeping Up with the Kardashians aired a scene where Khloe Kardashian casually dropped a bombshell. She was at one of Diddy's parties, and half the people were, wait for it, butt naked. Her sister asked who was there, and she casually said, "This wasn't some seedy back alley event. This was celebrity royalty mingling in unbelievable situations." And now, Justin's hinting that those fun nights with Diddy were anything but. Lately, JB's been opening up in way more raw and emotional ways. He's saying Diddy forced him to watch things, horrifying things, stuff that no teenage boy should ever be exposed to. Not only was he brought into parties, he was made to witness, like a sick initiation. And the worst part, he was just a kid trying to make it. And these powerful men, they used him. Justin's tone is haunting. He isn't naming exactly what he saw, but the heaviness in his voice says it all. It was dark, it was damaging, and it left scars. In all these breadcrumbs, they're starting to form a path straight to the truth. It's not just Diddy, it's the whole machine. The handlers, the secrets, the grooming. A system that targeted young, vulnerable artists, promising them the world and then feeding them to the wolves. But Justin isn't pulling punches anymore. He's done being a poster boy for a lie. He's finally telling the world, "I saw what they did, and I'm not scared anymore." By now, fans are deep diving into every clip, every comment, every pause in Justin's voice, because there's no denying it anymore. He was trying to warn us, just like Usher did years ago, just like Uncle Luke, Fab, and even Khloe accidentally did. It's no longer about rumors, it's about patterns, disturbing, ugly, gut-wrenching patterns. We're talking about a web that connects the biggest names in hip-hop, R&B, and Hollywood, woven together by one man at the center, Diddy. And now the entire thing is unraveling. Justin's not just speaking out about what happened to him. He's shedding light on how it all works. How these parties weren't just about music, they were about control, about loyalty, about keeping people quiet with money, fame, and allegedly blackmail. He even hinted that he wasn't the only young artist exposed to Diddy's dark world. There were others. Some we know, some we probably don't. He's also started bringing up stories that fans didn't even know existed, like how some celebrities were invited to those freak-off parties only once, then never showed up again, because they saw the red flags early and ran. People like Uncle Luke knew to stay away. Others, like Meek Mill, might have stayed too long and are now scrambling to distance themselves. And that's the part that stings the most, because even now, with lawsuits flying, careers burning, and FBI agents digging, some celebs are still trying to cover their tracks, wiping social media, denying ties, blaming hacks. But the internet doesn't forget, and fans, they're connecting the dots faster than ever. And let's not pretend Justin's journey has been easy since cutting ties. We've seen the breakdowns, the rehab stints, the canceled tours, but knowing now what he was exposed to, it's no wonder he needed years to process it all. He wasn't just a troubled teen, he was a victim, dragged into a world of power plays, toxic mentorships, and silent suffering. And now that he's strong enough to speak, we need to listen. Because let's be clear, this isn't just a Justin Bieber story, it's a Hollywood story, a music industry story, a system story, one where fame becomes a weapon and dreams become currency. And Diddy, he's not just facing lawsuits, he's facing a reckoning. Who's seeing everything shift? Longtime allies are vanishing, celebs are unfollowing, corporate deals are collapsing. Once untouchable names are now being whispered in the worst kind of context. And Justin, he's standing in the middle of the storm, not as a boy anymore, but as a man ready to expose every shadowy secret he grew up in. Because now it's about healing, it's about justice, and it's about making sure no other kid gets pulled into that world thinking it's all glitz and glamour when it's really pain and predators. He's putting his trauma out there so others don't have to suffer in silence like he did. And guess what? People are finally paying attention. So what do you think? Is this the beginning beginning of the end for Diddy's empire? Are more names going to be exposed? And will Justin's bravery inspire others to come forward? Let us know in the comments below. If you liked this video, hit that subscribe button and tap the bell icon to stay updated. We post every week exposing the real stories behind the biggest names in the game. The truth is out, and it's louder than ever.